Or, as Maine Celtics head coach Phil Pressey would say, the sprint to the finish line. And tonight, his Maine Celtics hosting the Grand Rapids Gold as we welcome you inside the Portland Expo. Spencer Martin with the coach John Scheinman. Maine returning home after a key win over the Osceola Magic on Tuesday, led by their two-way player John Tonje with a career performance.
Tonje was unstoppable in Florida on Tuesday. He scores in so many ways, and he doesn't hunt shots. You saw there with the slam. He can score inside, outside. He's an old-school scorer, and he gets to the free throw line. On Tuesday, he was 6 or 7 from free throw line. 10 of his 42 points came from the charity stripe. He's a handful for the defense.
He's now played in 5 games for the Maine Celtics, averaging 23 points and 6 rebounds per game, shooting 39% from 3. And coach, talk about elite shooting. Maine 50% from beyond the arc, thanks in large part to Tonje as you get a look at the Eastern Conference standings.
Well, you know, it's a make-or-miss league, and the Celtics certainly were making them on Tuesday, and they shot 53% from the floor as a whole. They're looking to repeat that recipe this evening.
So the Maine Celtics 1 game back of playoff positioning as we look at tonight's Celtics starting lineup presented by Man Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Focus on you. It's Hayden Gray, Kendall Brown, the two-way player John Tonje, Jalen Bridges, and Hassan Ward, the big man for Maine. As you look at the starters for both teams, the Grand Rapids Gold, you have two-way player Curtis Jones available. Deron Holmes II on assignment from the Denver Nuggets. Dane Goodwin, Ben Coupette Jr., and Coleman Hawkins round out the starting 5 for the Gold. The second time they've been here in the Expo this season. Of course, they won that first meeting in dramatic fashion, 122 to 119 in overtime. And Celtics fans immediately probably looking at Dane Goodwin and thinking, uh-oh, that guy's back.
Dane Goodwin scored 9 points in less than a minute, a 3 to tie, and the first 6 of overtime. Goodwin is an Iron Man. More on that later.
But as Coach Pressey would say, every game is its own unique puzzle to solve, and Jones works his way to the rack and a foul called on the floor. They'll grab Hayden Gray for his first personal.
Jones is so quick. Two-way player, played at Iowa State. Mr. Buckets, his range is long. I had it on my notes when I played it the first time. His range is Crusher. Then he didn't entertain us with a long shot from Crusher. So maybe tonight.
You talk about his quickness, and when you have to respect that range, it certainly helps him get to the paint, but off the mark for Curtis Jones for the first time tonight.
Great rebound by Tonje, moving his feet to get back into play. Underrated play.
Tonje gives it up to Ward. Ward nearly turns it over, now goes to the rack attack and throws it down. Warden back in business.
Less than a minute in the game. We got the Bulldogs driving the game already.
Calling your shot now, Hassan Ward coming off a 14-point double-double where he was 6 of 6 from the floor in that key win over Osceola, and he gathers a rebound there.
We've seen every one of Hassan's professional games. It's a joy to watch him improve.
His second stint with the Maine Celtics after spending his collegiate years, most recently Iowa State. Jones thought about it. Instead, he'll settle down for Grand Rapids.
Ward was on Oklahoma City for the summer and the summer league team for rejoining the Maine Celtics.
Coleman Hawkins with the shot clock winding down. It's down to 3. Out to Holmes, lets it fly off back rim. And you talk about Hassan Ward and his efficiency. 13 of 19 from the floor in his last 2 games for 30 points for the Celtics. Bridges lets it fly, and it's nothing but net.
Hey, that was a no-dip, right?
That was a no-dip 3, something we'll certainly talk about tonight through 4 quarters. Jalen Bridges, you mentioned Goodwin and Iron Man. He's now started 44 of 45 games for the Celtics. This season has Bridges in his second professional year as the Gold get on the board.
Nice play by the Gold, getting off the 0 of the scoreboard. Hayden Gray played very well on Tuesday for the Celtics.
Kendall Brown also praised for his efforts by Coach Pressey in that win. Hassan Ward thinking about the three. He's going to let it go, and that'll affect his shooting percentage a little bit.
Well, that's the evolution of his game. We see him work on it in practice all the time and before the games. But that's what the Warden does better than anybody, blocking shots, Bill Russell style, kept it in play. Don't emphasize that enough.
And now a chance for him to impact the game offensively. Maine's all-time block shots leader added another one to his total, goes to his left, and it bounces in.
Son Ward's on a heater, Spencer Martin.
To say the least, and like you said, we've always known what he can do defensively, but the evolution on offense, especially in the absence of Amari Williams, that was nearly another block for Ward. Instead, they'll call a foul.
He got him because he argued, then he turned to Coach Pressey and said, no, I got him. And Hassan didn't even do the obligatory replay because he got him.
Well, the reason he calmed down, they did award that personal foul to Kendall Brown.
Okay.
On the help side there.
Thank you.
So I'm sure
that was
why Hassan quickly calmed down a little bit. But the free throw off the mark for Grand Rapids. Maine a chance to build on this 4-point lead here.
And in the G League, for the first time tuning in, you get one shot for 2 points, or if you're fouled and shooting a three, you get one shot for 3 points until the last 2 minutes of the game. A speed-up rule that the players don't like, I might add.
Holmes, that time it's good.
Holmes on assignment from Denver. Played at Dayton. Arizona native, originally drafted by the Suns. We walked up today, and he's just all smiles. Loves to play basketball. Had a nice little conversation with Duran.
First round draft pick in 2024, and I'm sure that love for the game grew after he suffered a torn Achilles tendon in summer league coming out of his rookie season. That's put him on the sidelines for a while, and you're right, that kind of adds a little bit more joy when you return to the game. Just like that, Grand Rapids has found their shot. And they lead Maine 9-7 here.
Well, one thing about Grand Rapids, they're going to get shots up.
Yes. Gray working on the pick and roll with Ward. Turns over the shoulder. Can't get it to go that time.
That was a big-time rebound by Holmes.
Jones pushing the pace. Got Gray up in the air. Holmes out wide to Goodwin. Good hands by Tanjay. Knocks it out of bounds.
We chatted last time Grand Rapids was in the building. The Celtics were comfortably ahead by 22 in the fourth quarter. Great comeback by Grand Rapids. They made a three with 3 seconds left in the game to tie Mr. Goodwin. Celtics missed a couple of assignments on that. That's part of the game. That happens.
Right.
Coach Pressey was talking about that again before the game. But since that time, Grand Rapids is only 4 of 12, and the Celtics came into that game at 9-6, and they've only been 5-10 since then. So that kind of put them on their woes, which they've come out of. They've won 2 out of the last 3.
Holmes, not that time. Grand Rapids, 3 of 6 from deep. And you're right, these are two teams both playing in the tournament portion of the tip-off tournament, the Winter Showcase tournament, and 10 wins for Grand Rapids during tip-off play, just 9 since, and trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here tonight.
I mean, you mentioned the 10 wins. They lost in the semifinals of the tip-off by 2 points to 905, who was the team of the tip-off portion of the schedule. But things change quickly in the G League.
At so many levels, right?
At so many levels. In fact, David Roddy was on those 905 teams, and he's on a 2A with Grand Rapids, but has not been to Grand Rapids because he's with the Nuggets.
Well, a timeout here awarded to Coach Pressey. Grand Rapids Gold out in front, 12-7, and they've done it all from the three-point line. 4 triples for the Gold, puts them on front early on the road here in Maine. March is Women's History Month, and tonight is the second of our Empower Her games presented by TD. And to help celebrate women's empowerment, you may have noticed Maine is wearing these special edition uniforms. It's still rocking the green, but the pattern on these jerseys is the blueprint for the original women's basketball court from 1893, and the uniforms were designed by Celtics senior designer Jackie Arndt. This is the second Empower Her game this year for Maine.
I think these uniforms are solid. Celtics do a great job with their alternative uniforms.
I agree, and always great when they're locally designed, as well as we see some changes coming early for Coach Pressey. Keon Johnson, Aaron Scott, and Hank Morgan all into the game here for Maine. Aaron Scott just checked in off the rim and out of bounds.
You know, Scott's like automatic from his spot in the corner.
Yep.
We haven't seen him shoot a lot of top of the key threes, I don't think. We don't have a chart in front of it. That's on memory, which that's questionable in my case, not in your case.
Right. Javante McCoy in for the Grand Rapids Gold as they go down low to Goodwin. It'll stay with Grand Rapids.
McCoy, no strain to New England, played collegiately for Joe Jones, who's visiting with us today at Boston University. McCoy leads BU all-time in minutes and games played, and he was instrumental in that Grand Rapids comeback back in January.
Talk about instrumental when you see Dane Goodwin. But yeah, McCoy, 25 points, 5 of 8 from 3 off the bench for the Gold in that previous meeting. Brown got to that mid-range spot he loves, but Holmes is draped all over him. Now it's Morgan, under 10 on the shot clock. Maine will reset. It's Tanjay, quiet so far. Good defense by Goodwin, but a foul on the floor.
Tanjay, not in the big NBA controversy is probably too strong a word. Tanjay has old school game. We talked about the opening, has a knack to draw contact and get to the free throw line where he takes and makes them. Spencer, throughout history of this game, all great scorers are great free throw shooters. There's very few exceptions. Up to Exhibit A is Mr. O'Neal.
Right.
But he was a large human being.
All right, yeah, Tanjay, 91% from the charity stripe this season. And I love talking to Coach Pressey about Maine's two-way players. And when Amari Williams was on a two-way, Ron Harper, Shulga, when those guys were here, the way the Celtics played would change dramatically, right? Like when Max is here, it's a lot of pick and roll. Amari, we're feeding down low. Ron's a fantastic shooter. With Tanjay, it's not really the case, Coach Pressey said.
No, he could just play. He could find his game in any way. He's going to have a long professional career as Mr. Tanjay, the Omaha native.
Morgan got the steal. Johnson couldn't get the bucket. Morgan earns a second chance opportunity. Spin from Tanjay and off the window.
Hank Morgan made the play. That's a Tommy point for Mr. Morgan coming off his career high in Florida where the weather was hot and he was hot.
Ends a 9-0 Grand Rapids run. McCoy shot no good. The follow off for Obede. Still loose on the floor. Looked like it was last touched by the Gold. It was Celtics ball.
Great defense by the Celtics. As you know, I've covered McCoy his whole collegiate career, and when he played earlier, they forced him to take an off-balance shot, which he never takes. Well-connected Celtics defense. And Spencer, to finish your point about each game's uniquely different, Coach Mazzulli was talking about that with the big club.
Right.
That each lineup's different. Somebody's always out, and you just have that identity that night.
Hank Morgan continues his hot shooting from three. Morgan had 22 points against Osceola, and again, he was 7 of 8 from beyond the arc.
Phenomenal shooting as Hank played at Hamilton.
Another loose ball, and Johnson hits the deck and pops right back up. Morgan lets it go for three. Nothing but nylon. What a response by the Maine Celtics. Forces a Gold timeout thanks to the hot shooting efforts of your guy, Hank Morgan.
Nothing but nylon. Hank Morgan, another no-dip. Keon Johnson with the great assist. Stay with us from the Expo.
How about Hank Morgan? Back-to-back triples, and safe to say he's been one of the bright spots for Maine, and they picked him up out of the player pool. A month ago, he had to join the team during the middle of their road trip in the Midwest, and Morgan really helped the Celtics beat Osceola Tuesday night. Career high 22 points, 6 for 7 from 3, a D3 product playing in the NESCAC for Hamilton College. And, Coach, he's shooting 51% from 3 since joining the Maine Celtics.
Hey, that's what he does. It doesn't matter. You're playing against Bates a couple of miles to the north or in the G League.
And make sure to catch Hank Morgan on the latest episode of Bites in Basketball live on YouTube right now, where he talks about that experience playing at Alumni Gymnasium, playing up in Colby, and how that experience in the NESCAC has shaped him early on in his professional career here in the G League.
Morgan played in TBT for D3. We are D3. Played for Mike Reniak. He had a fantastic coming out party this summer.
Great shot from McCoy, and yeah, that coming out party is coming out right now in the month of March as Morgan's connected on 9 of his last 10 shots from 3. Johnson flashing through the lane, beautiful pass out to Aaron Scott. No good from the top of the key. Ward keeping it alive. Bridges wrestles it away from McCoy. It finds no dip. Hank in and out for 3.
Great offensive rebound. Coach Pressey in our pregame meeting was chatting about how well his team is getting to the old glass.
Stays with Grand Rapids as Hawkins and Jones check back in for the gold. Gray will come back in. Morgan will go to the bench.
Coleman Hawkins, a high school teammate of Maine Celtic fan favorite Cameron Warren's. So in January, Hawkins was out with an injury, and today Cameron's out with illness. So we haven't seen them on the same court together.
Yeah, he said his high school coach would be sick not being able to see the Antelope natives out there. Obede, the putback for the gold.
Obede is a big boy.
Hayden Gray just dancing through the lane and hits the mid-range.
Hayden Gray's really added that to his game. Talked about this earlier in the broadcast, playing very well. And what he needs to do is just continue to develop that offensive consistency.
Right. Obede, a force on the glass. No Moses Brown. Remember, for the Grand Rapids gold tonight, he's a big reason why this is one of the best teams in the G League in terms of second chance opportunities. And hey, Obede stepping up in his spot down low.
And with Brown, we haven't seen zone yet. Grand Rapids played zone without Brown on Wednesday versus Birmingham. Brown got hurt early in the first half against Birmingham on Wednesday, came back in the game, but not able to go today.
Hawkins lost the handle out wide to Hargrove Jr., and Bridges brings in the miss. And Moses Brown averages 18 points in the paint per game. That's just an idea of what the Gold are missing out on. Stepping through from Ward, a little bit of a wild shot. Goes back to Grand Rapids.
Great defense by Hawkins. He stalemated Ward. Ward thought he was going to the basket. Great defense. Don't see that often in the paint like that.
Jones is shifty. Johnson came flying in to help. Now McCoy elevates over Johnson. He's just silky smooth.
Silky smooth. Talk about love playing. He back in New England. He's on a little minutes restriction today, he shared with me. Since he played here in January, where again he played very well.
Right.
Had a little knee injury. So coming back slowly is Mr. McCoy.
Keon Johnson, the NBA vet, working on the big, elevates, another tough shot. Both teams shooting under 40% here in a low-scoring first quarter.
It's great having Keon Johnson back in the lineup. Is this his 5th game back, I believe?
Have to double check, 5th or 6th. Here's Hawkins. Jones again, shot clock winding up. Bridges pokes it away along with Gray. Going 2-on-1. Great transition basketball by the Celtics.
Great job by Hayden Gray giving it back. Jalen Bridges almost effortless with his defense, and he's a great defender, Spencer.
Gray was all over him. There's 1 second on the clock. Johnson, we'll see if the ball gets there in time. Lets it fly, and it's short.
Johnson trying to channel his inner Peyton Pritchard to no avail.
Low scoring first quarter, but not short of excitement. Hassan Ward and the Maine Celtics trailing the Grand Rapids Gold by 1 after the first.
I mean, he's been great. He's continuing to get better on both ends of the floor. Tonight it was the shooting, but I think his defense is just as impactful as everyone else's, and just another guy that can impact winning for us. And him, and credit to everybody. I thought everyone just battled tonight.
Welcome back to the action here. Hassan Ward turns it over for the Celtics. Hawkins gathers it for Grand Rapids. You were taking a look at some highlights from Ron Harper Jr. and his 22-point effort against the San Antonio Spurs. Maine hasn't seen Ron Harper since February 1st. That was just one game after he scored 37 points against this Grand Rapids team.
In that game, Ron missed a three to win in regulation and then a shot to win in overtime. And on these very airwaves, you and I predicted Ron's success in Boston. A couple of teams were laying off him. We said that was a mistake. And then last evening, he had a great strip on SGA, which is no easy task. And how about Coach Missoula letting Baylor Shireman and Ron Harper, two former Maine Celtics, guard SGA? That was phenomenal.
The G League and Maine have left their imprint on Maine this season. Look at those key 7 rotational players for Boston. There's over 300 games of G League experience in action for the Boston Celtics. Ron Harper, a key part of that. Here's Goodwin. The seas parted for the Notre Dame product. He laid it in. None easier than that for Goodwin.
No, I know Coach Pressey's really pleased that he held them to under 20 in the first quarter. He's not pleased with that at threes. He's going to have to put it on the deck to make a pull-up or dish at threes. He's going to have to put it on the deck to make a pull-up or dish.
Started the season with the Salt Lake City Stars. Got in on that tip-off tournament success with Salt Lake before joining these Celtics. It's Hayden Gray directing traffic for Maine. Good defense by the Gold here in the half court. Bridges steps into a three. No.
Definitely point of emphasis on that top of the key three today for the Celtics. Have not got one to drop, though, from Scott or Bridges.
Hargrove Jr., 5 years spent at St. Louis. Now over to Jones as Grand Rapids really content to let the shot clock kind of drip away, and Ward gathers it. Here's Kendall Brown. Goes right to Hargrove, the spin, and the tough bucket for KB.
I love JB. As you and he talked about in your great interview on Bites of Basketball, KB doesn't draw fouls or doesn't hunt fouls, but he draws fouls. And he said, well, I should go dunk it more maybe. That was a phenomenal play. His athleticism is off the charts. Minneapolis native showed it right there. That was a great replay as well.
Shooting 52% from the floor, 70% from the line, but when I talk to him, when the Maine Celtics get out in transition, no one benefits more often than Kendall Brown. He runs the floor so well and then shows off that finishing ability. He just doesn't need to demand the ball a lot in order to impact the game.
Well said. Effortless scorer. And he's only 22 years old?
Right, one and done during his time at Baylor. Of course, been on a couple two-way contracts, a standard deal with the Pacers. Still oozing with potential is Kendall Brown. Bridges, nice pass over the top. Hayden Gray was off from the jump. Ebenezer Duwana just checked in for Maine. He was fighting down low, but Grand Rapids wins the battle.
Good job by Duwana getting to the floor. Couldn't come up with it.
Coupette Jr. hard to the rack. Good contest by Duwana going straight up.
That was a great contest. That's how you teach it. We could clip that up and show that. He's human, Spencer. He missed.
Not that time for Morgan as you hear that exhale from the crowd. People are just expecting that to go down.
People's champ.
Coupette from three, and he sinks it to pull the Gold back within one.
What a great start to this game. Exciting.
Yeah, both teams are struggling to shoot, but you wouldn't know it from their energy levels, right? No one's let it impact the way that they're playing.
Both teams playing extremely hard, competing. I love it.
The playoffs kind of out of reach for the Grand Rapids Gold, but you wouldn't know it by the way they're coming at Maine so far in this first half. Jones has been a handful for any Celtics defender to keep in front, kicks it out. Coupette just had one, that time off front rim.
They got to call that one.
Oof.
That's just an unlucky one.
Yep.
Hopefully he's okay.
Jaden Seymour get charged with the foul. He was the one getting tied up under the basket there.
So the back of Seymour is like, my bad.
Talking about Jalen Bridges, I mean, just a day ago, he was questionable to play today, and Iron Man 100.
You didn't believe that questionable, did you?
No, never. I mean,
Never
105 games that he started and played in consecutively his last 3 seasons at college between West Virginia and Baylor.
And that's my point. That was no knock on our people. That's just Jalen always shows up to play.
Tanjay coming off that 42-point effort, doesn't get it to bounce in that time. Hawkins leads the break for the Gold. Coupette Jr. continues to be left open, and it seems like the Celtics are willing to give him that shot so far.
For sure. That's definitely the scouting report.
Kendall Brown trying to find options. It's Keon Johnson. Led the Brooklyn Nets in minutes last season. Sweeps through the lane, off the glass, and one.
Wow. Showing off some of his legendary vertical leap.
Keon Johnson trying to make his comeback to the NBA, coming off that knee injury. That's some good tape to show those NBA scouts. He's shooting one when we come back. Welcome back to Empower Night, presented by TD here at the Portland Expo. And you're looking at Consuela Sparrow. And the reason why we're talking about Consuela is because from college to the NBA to the Maine Celtics, Keon Johnson has worn that number 45 his entire career. There's a good reason that's the number his mother wore in college. Consuela Sparrow was a Division I star at Auburn. She was twice named first team All-SEC, and she's always been an inspiration, as Keon would say, in his lowest moments to his highest moments, and he makes the free throws. He tries to get back to the highest level of basketball as soon as possible.
And it's great he always gives his mom credit. And, you know, you play women's basketball in the SEC, and you're a star, that's the real deal.
Right. Good win.
I was going to say, Consuela, you've raised a fine young man. He's always very polite to us before the games.
He is the Tennessee native, standout for the Vols, a first-round draft pick, and kind of got left on the outside looking in at the start of training camp for the Nets. All that young talent. Kendall Brown, he was a part of that Nets organization as well, as it rattles in and out. And those are two guys that spent time in Brooklyn, in Long Island, and on their journey to the association.
Right, the Nets going young, the Maine Celtics benefit.
Tanjay switched off of Holmes, let him take that three. Guess what, Coupette and Holmes again, and you see that scouting report definitely in full effect for Maine. It doesn't matter, Goodwin getting three the old-fashioned way inside.
Goodwin's going to score no matter what. Yeah, they're going to let Holmes shoot that one, Spencer. From that far out, prove that he can make it. But Goodwin can score from anywhere, and we talked about his Iron Man's played in every game for the Gold, played in every game for 5 years for Notre Dame.
Right. It's impressive.
Gatorade Player of the Year in Ohio his senior year in high school. And like I said, he came in here, and the Celtics were about to pay for their lunch in the lunch line, and he came and he stole their lunch money. Like, they already had the tray.
Yeah.
It was, the crowd was stunned that evening as they left the expo. It was the Mr. Goodwin show.
Yes, it was. For Dane Goodwin, finished that game 7 of 12 from 3. Grand Rapids hit 21 from beyond the arc in that game, and you're seeing the Gold really shoot it again from deep. Maine letting them take those shots, as both teams struggling so far. Celtics 29-28, holding that narrow lead. Grand Rapids tries to go down low. Holmes again on assignment. Beautiful ball fake by McCoy, and the quick burst to the rim. That is a textbook pump fake from you, Coach.
Yeah, a fake is not a fake if it looks fake. As we said, McCoy's game is the real deal. And you saw that right there. You're going to see it on the replay. Little fake. Hayden Gray, who usually doesn't go for the fakes.
He doesn't.
Phenomenal defender. But he bought the whole car on that one.
At sticker price, too.
Oh, and McCoy is an 87% free throw shooter. Yep.
So McCoy puts the goal back in front. It's just back and forth. These two teams have gone in a crucial matchup for the Celtics. Again, trying to make the postseason for the 4th consecutive year. Hayden Gray couldn't connect with Ward.
That was the first question play I've seen Hayden Gray make this evening. Ward thinks he was fouled, but Hassan's complaining, and Phil Pressey can't be happy because the Gold ran down the court and got an easy transition hoop.
Wow, Johnson was ready to show off that vertical. A couple Gold players trying to argue that that was last touch by Grand Rapids. It will stay with the Celtics, as Johnson was looking to put someone on a poster.
Coach Bowen checking with his replay crew, says, nope, we're going to stay. Officials got it correctly, as they often do.
Can't argue with that. Inbound to Tanjay. Just 2 points here as Tanjay kicks out to Gray. Great extra pass. Bridges knocks it down.
Great ball movement. Penetration in paint, kick out to the corner, one extra pass. JB for 3.
Grand Rapids really trying to play through Holmes here in the second quarter. It leaves Hawkins wide open, and don't leave that guy too far open. He can knock it down as well.
Holmes just put his elbow right, accidentally I might add, in Jaylen Brown's face. JB was shaken up for a split second. If we could see, get a camera on him, just put his head down. He still go, wow. Yeah, he got whacked.
And Holmes, a first-round draft pick in 2024, as you see Keon Johnson drawing a foul for the second time down here. Holmes has played 19 games with the Denver Nuggets. He started in 6 of them, averaging about 10 minutes a game for the big club in Denver. The Dayton Flyer can really get it done, and just his 5th game here on assignment for the Gold.
He has a really long wingspan, Spencer, so if the Gold play zone, which you astutely said, they might not without Moses Brown.
Right.
We see zone with Moses. They played some zone on Wednesday with Moses not in the lineup. We have not seen that from them today, but their defense has been good.
I like Maine making sure Hassan Ward is on Holmes this time. Johnson and Gray were digging down on McCoy. They'll catch Keon Johnson with the personal foul. Grand Rapids really has 2 great facilitators in Jones and Holmes. The way they make the Celtics defense just crash, it seems to be applying a lot of pressure to them. You're seeing it even right now in the half court.
Great observation. Celtics choosing to go double on Holmes. They're going to call Johnson for the foul or just out of bounds?
It is the 2nd personal foul in a row on Keon Johnson.
And that's going to find him a cushion, I believe.
Yeah, his 4th personal foul here in this first half. Just like that. I mean, 2 fouls in 5 seconds, and he had a couple in the first quarter, and just like that, Keon's out of the game for a while.
He's out of the game at least his rotational minutes in the 3rd quarter.
McCoy, a rare miss from the mid-range spot.
A rare miss in this building for sure.
Aiden Gray coming the other way. Out to Tanjay. McCoy cuts him off on the baseline. Tanjay doesn't care.
Nice play by Tanjay, as we talked about earlier. He scored in so many ways, only his 2nd basket of the evening.
Quick swing to Holmes. Was right at the body of Ward. That's a tough foul for Hassan Ward to swallow. I thought he did well to try to beat Holmes to the spot.
He did, but officials felt that he impacted his balance and movement. Holmes is going to go to the free throw line.
And for the 2nd time in this first half, they got the guy helping. They got Aaron Scott for the foul.
Good for the Warden staying out, because he's the one that has a proclivity to pick up fouls.
He's averaging 100. He has 119 fouls this season. He's averaging 3 per game.
That's a lot.
I took a look for you because I knew it was coming. So it's 3 a game right now for Hassan Ward.
Thank you, partner. That's why we make a great team.
Tanjay, just buying time. Count it. Officials are going to talk about it. Yes, count the 2 for John Tanjay, making something out of nothing.
So when he got fouled the first time, I didn't want to interrupt because you were doing great play-by-play. It was great, the benefit that he didn't call the first foul because, okay, you're not going to call that one. Well, they call this one. And English off the rim. Tanjay up to 6, going to make it 7 on a free throw.
Can score in so many ways. We'll take a break. Celtics back in front by 3. John Tanjay is starting to heat up in this second quarter, up to 6 points, and what a performance on Tuesday night for the two-way guard, carrying Maine to victory over the Eastern Conference leading Osceola Magic, a career high 42 points. That's the 11th most in a single game in franchise history. 12 of 20 from the floor, 8 of 10 from 3. As again, 5 games in, you're starting to see Tanjay really find his rhythm with the Celtics here, Coach.
Just a natural scorer at every stop he's been in his collegiate and professional career. And the best line when we were chatting with Coach Pressey, wow, I didn't even know he had 40.
Yeah, I asked Coach about what stuck out for him in that win over Osceola. He listed 5-6 guys before he got to John. He was just saying that it came so naturally. He wasn't forcing it in the 42-point effort, which is hard to say.
He's still on his way to his average. He's got 7 so far this evening. Celtics adjusted a little bit of their coverage here. It wasn't zone, but good job by Coach Pressey coming into the timeout and giving Grand Rapids a different look as Coach Bowen drew up a play for defense X, and Coach Pressey in a chess match came out with defense Y.
See if Maine can take advantage on the other end here with that 4-point lead just over 2 minutes to go in this first half. Shot clock down to 5. Gray swings out Tanjay. No, it's out of bounds. Grand Rapids will take over.
Tanjay had to get that one on the rim. McCoy did a good job taking up enough space, but not coming under, which would be an automatic foul.
Inbound it right to Holmes. Holmes and Jones kind of steering the ship for Grand Rapids. As it looks like Celtics dropping into a zone. Holmes goes right in the center of that defense. It'll be a kick ball.
Well, and like I said, that's the coverage the coach adjusted. I don't think it's zone Spencer, but I've been wrong often in the game of basketball. But they're definitely playing back, and that's probably because of the Gold's proclivity to miss a few this evening, shooting 37% from the floor.
Yeah, both teams have struggled from the field. Jones tries to make something out of nothing as the shot clock's winding down to 2. Just took his time, got Tanjay in the air. The officials kind of just waited to make a call, but there eventually was a loose ball foul on the Maine Celtics.
Well, you know what happens in the NBA happens in the G League, and that's been an issue of late.
Yeah, the call came from the baseline, and right, you can coach Missoula if you want, but it got
on the
awarded
replay,
to Tanjay.
He fouled him.
Right.
I mean, that's old school, good basketball. J.D. Davidson is great at that. They got it right.
Just did it come from the principal or the hall monitor, right?
Very well said.
Tanjay looking for a little revenge, rises right in the face of Holmes. Ward almost with an emphatic putback, and Aaron Scott does what A. Scott does, chases down another chance for the Celtics. That's that man's spot. A. Scott from the corner, in and out.
Got to play out of the corner in the Celtics system. Nobody does it as well as Scott.
Tanjay contested 3. Ward snagged it out of the sky again. Third chance here for the Maine Celtics. Tanjay with the English off the window.
Great help. Coach Bowen's incredulous. His team gave up 4 offensive rebounds that time. Tommy points for everybody.
Holmes gets a quick response for the Maine Celtics. Grand Rapids has struggled in that category. They're 28th in the G League in opponent second chance points, giving up 17 a game.
Which you're surprised with Moses Brown being on their club.
Aiden Gray for 3, he knocks it down, and you're right, Grand Rapids, kind of interesting. They're top 5 in the G League in offensive rebounds, but they're also bottom 5 in the G League in giving up offensive rebounds.
It's a puzzlement. That's why their record is what it is, Spencer.
Great point as the Gold trying to end the half in style. Instead, it's stolen by Maine. Gray leading the break as the shot clock will be switched off for the Celtics.
Celtics will hold for 1. How about this crowd, Spencer?
Over 2,000 strong in a sold-out Empowerment Day. Shot clock going down. Tanjay, step back, good defense by Hawkins. And that's how we'll end the half.
Hawkins defending like his fellow classmate Cameron Warren's on that play.
Didn't bite on the fake by John Tanjay, and a high-flying first half. Maine Celtics lead the Grand Rapids Gold 44-39.
This copyrighted broadcast of the NBA G League may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA G League.
I love basketball. I played basketball my entire life. You never know what the day is going to hold, so it's always pretty fun.
Women in different fields and sports is really inspiring to keep it going.
It is definitely a more male-dominant type of thing, but it's really great to see young women get excited in all the different roles.
Two clap. Two clap. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Youth basketball is more than just a game.
Step and slide, don't click your feet,
It's a foundation for life.
Win for your team, play for each other. It's contagious, come on, Gray.
On the court, minds are sharpened. Kids learn to think fast, adapt, and believe in themselves.
This is my team, here we go.
They learn the power of we over me. Teamwork, communication, trust. Through challenge, they find courage. Through setbacks, they find strength.
Don't give in.
And in every moment, they discover what it means to belong.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team!
But balance is learned off the court too.
Energy!
The power of stretching and mobility. The focus of mindfulness. The fuel of good nutrition. Through all these lessons, they don't become just better athletes, but better people.
1, 2, 3.
Hello again and welcome courtside here at the Portland Expo. Spencer Martin, John Scheinman. First half all wrapped up here. Grand Rapids Gold trailing the Maine Celtics 44-39. Coach, kind of feels more like a college game at times than a G League game. Interesting 10 lead changes between these two teams, both struggling to shoot the floor, but you got to credit both of them. A lot of energy here in the final parts of this regular season.
I hope this game is coming across at home as exciting as it is in person.
Right.
And as you mentioned, energy. Both teams are defending at an elite level.
Yeah.
Grand Rapids came out in fuego. They made their first 4 3-point field goal attempts. Then they came back, regression to the mean. They're average 33% on the season, and that's what they're shooting for the first half. Celtics, on the other hand, need to knock down a little. They're coming off of a game where they shot 50% from three.
Right.
They're only at 27 so far in the first half. Coach Pressey has to be pleased with his team's effort, Spencer.
Yeah, as you take a look at some of those highlights from the Grand Rapids Gold, Curtis Jones, he's got 8 points in the first half. Dane Goodwin, 8 points, as well as, like you said, their first 12 points, all coming from beyond the arc. And the highlights are going to be back and forth because, like we said, 10 lead changes. So you're going to see that reflected as you take a look back at the first 2 quarters.
Hassan Ward, we talked about Hassan here. His growth is amazing. Not enough credit nationally, I'm sure, is within the organization, how he blocks shots and keeps the ball alive. An uncanny, mature skill. And, Hank Morgan, you saw it there. He just shoots and scores. He's like a hockey player.
Hank Morgan, 8 first half points off the bench for the Celtics. And then John Tonje, again, 42 points on Tuesday. Slow going in the first quarter, but he ends up with 9 first half points to lead the Celtics as he was really crafty around the rim in that second quarter.
He's so crafty. Just a gifted scorer, is going to have his average. He just comes out. You could write him in. Like somebody that's going to get 2 hits if he was a baseball player. You just write him in for 20 every night, and mature scorer and knows how to get to the free throw line. And for Grand Rapids, really loved Dane Goodwin's game. I had a highlight of him, and he just plays. And, never missed a game in college, hasn't missed a game as a professional. So he was out early in the second half, and the wonderful youth basketball was still playing. So I asked him if he wanted to get it out there too, because he never misses a game. He said, "Well, I'm thinking about it," and I complimented it. I complimented him on his longevity and always coming ready to play. And some of that's luck, because you get hurt, you get hurt.
Right. As we get back to the action here, do you think, Coach, the Gold are kind of establishing the pace of this game, right? They typically play at a faster pace than Maine. They're 12th in the G League. Maine in the bottom 10 of the league in terms of pace, but it seems like can tend to get both of these teams really working down to the end of the shot clock on a lot of these possessions.
Yeah, some of that's the elite level of the defense. Some of that Maine's, Tonje being the only two-way here. A combination of factors, and before Moses Brown was out, I'm sure Coach Pressey prepped for the zone,
right?
And Coach Bowen prepared to play zone.
So both teams making adjustments on the fly, as you saw Holmes in the Gold strike first in this third quarter. Bridges works his way to the free throw line, and hits it.
Jalen Bridges showing off his skills, more than just a three-point shooter or take to the rack guy. Great mid-range shot right there.
You're talking availability, of course, no Ron Harper Jr., no Max Scholga, the two-way players with Boston, no Cameron Warrens as well, out with the sickness for the Maine Celtics. For Grand Rapids, you said no Moses Brown. They're also without two-way player KJ Simpson.
And David Roddy has on a two-way, but he's not here. He hasn't been here.
Good strong take by Hassan Ward. He gets his own miss, kicks it out to Gray. No.
And regarding Roddy, what I mean by here, I mean here with Grand Rapids.
Right.
And Duron Holmes is on assignment.
Goodwin tried to bank it in. Tonje got caught in the air. Ward saved him.
Well, Jones made a hell of a play and took the ball away, took the pass away. Tonje stayed in the air just long enough not to turn it over.
Brown's short floater drops.
Has he got the best float game in the league? Effortless float game.
May. 7 points, believe it or not, the largest lead of the day for any team. Courtesy of that floater from Kendall Brown.
The game definitely has a collegiate or even high school feel to it, like championship level game where baskets are at a premium.
And there's another miss for Jones in Grand Rapids. 48-41, Celtics lead. Bridges steps up, top of the key, in and out for JB.
That one was quarter of the way down.
Holmes tries his luck from 3, and it's nothing but net for the player on assignment from the Denver Nuggets.
Celtics clearly going to let Holmes shoot that one.
He was 0 for 4 before he made that 3.
And coming in, he was 9 of 27 for 33% in his time in Grand Rapids.
Hassan Ward now working on Holmes, step through, and second time this quarter we've seen a nice move by Ward, just couldn't get the finish.
Needs to just keep his body moving to get the momentum. People don't take enough, understand momentum is so key in basketball.
Right.
Your body momentum.
Again, working deep into the shot clock is Grand Rapids. Curtis Jones been giving Maine defenders fits all day, and he'll get Kendall Brown with the personal foul.
I was screened by Coach Pressey on that one, but I know no coach is happy when your club fouls with 2 seconds on the shot clock. You see here on the replay the first time for me. Interesting.
And they will say that Jones was shooting as well. So
more
Curtis Jones,
interesting.
Even more interesting. An 86% foul shooter will go to the line and adds a little bit more harm to that last second foul.
Jones is a scoring machine, and he has the knack to get to the free throw line.
And a rare miss. And
what's that expression? Ball doesn't what?
Tell the truth.
Oh, I like it.
Is that what it is?
I see what you did there. A+.
Hayden Gray doesn't give the Gold any time to catch their breath. Relocates to the corner. Great movement without the ball by Hayden Gray for a long 2.
Hayden Gray's up to 9 on the day. He's playing really, really well.
Holmes, no. Bridges hauls in another rebound. His 6th of the night.
Celtics scanner report has let Holmes fire or retire from 3 for sure. There's that float game. Coach Bowen's got seen enough.
Kendall Brown, he'll drive and it won't look like he's open, but then he can stop on a dime and elevate, and just like that, Maine out to their largest lead of the night, 52-44, timeout, Grand Rapids. Welcome back, in time now for some Maine Celtics trivia. Tonight we're asking you who scored the most points in the game versus Grand Rapids. Answer coming in the second half. Coach, what's your guess?
Oh, it's Ron Harper Jr.
37 points by Ron Harper Jr. The last time we faced the Gold. Was that the most, though? We'll see. You got to stay with us.
I'm sticking to my story. And I didn't say J.D. Davis.
Say, you're changing your tune. You're changing your tune. So we'll see what Coach Bowen's group has out of the timeout. It's Hawkins with the size advantage on Gray, trying to bully him all the way to the basket. Bunch of green jerseys swarmed Hawkins. Jones, contested floater. Hawkins, the putback.
The coach in Sacramento teaches his guys great fundamentals. I wish I knew the gentleman's name to give him a proper shout out. But nice play. We enjoy watching Cameron Warren's. Coleman Hawkins also fundamentally sound.
There's Kendall Brown again getting deep in the paint. Finds Ebenezer Duona for 2.
Well, great job by Duona keeping the ball up high. Nice pass. Celtics playing well.
Playing more to their rhythm so far in this second half and dictating the pace as Holmes Out to Hawkins for three. No. And Kendall Brown hauls it in, and here you see Maine pushing it up the floor once again. Bridges. John Tonje, 9 first half points, out to Hayden Gray.
At the next whistle, Keon Johnson's going to check in with his 4 fouls.
Shot clock winding down, step back for Hayden Gray, gets the shooter's bounce.
Gray up to 12 on the evening, I should say.
It's a heck of a friendly role for Hayden Gray, who just like that is the leading scorer for the Maine Celtics.
He's played very well.
Goodwin out to Capette. He answers from the corner.
Nice corner play by Grand Rapids. Hayden Gray has benefited the most by Ron Harper's success on this team, is taking advantage. We've said that before on the broadcasts.
Both teams had just 5 first half turnovers, getting a little out of control at the moment. Officials will discuss, and after the discourse, looks like it's Celtics ball. That's Keon Johnson, Hank Morgan in for Maine, Javante McCoy in for the Gold.
Dewana giving great minutes to the Celtics. Ebenezer was no Scrooge.
Picked up out of the player pool, played a little bit in the G League for Texas. Most recently played collegiately for James Madison. Is much needed big for this Maine Celtics team after that standard deal given to Amari Williams as Tonje connects for 3.
Nice pass, nice ball reversal by the Celtics. Tonje up to 12 as well.
We said 10 lead changes in the first half. No team led by more than 5. Just like that, Maine finding their pace and finding their shot, leading by 11. Capette cuts it back down to 8.
Doesn't matter which side he's on. Corner pocket for Capette.
A lot of opportunities this afternoon for Capette. That was his 6th attempt as the game as Johnson just flying through the air.
Sure, he's happy to be back after sitting more than usual with the 4 personal fouls.
And that's something Coach Pressey believes in, kind of his coaching philosophy, as Jones trying to show off that range. He says it's on these guys to manage their fouls. It's not always on me to leave them out of the game. You get those 4 personal fouls, an NBA vet like Keon Johnson knows it, as Kendall Brown's 3 is no good, and so
Excellent
Coach Pressey
point.
trusting Johnson in this moment.
There's something, Coach Pressey, this is his first year, so you're experimenting, but some things, being a former player, that he just has a natural advantage.
Right.
And to that point, Coach Bowen played the NBA for 10 years with a variety of different clubs. So 2 former NBA vets going against each other in the coaching ranks.
Coach Pressey, a former Boston Celtic, played 1 game here for the Maine Red Claws. What a game that was, over 30 points for Coach Pressey in that 1 appearance here in Maine, as Johnson draws the foul, but it'll be no shot.
Johnson's quickness just makes him so hard to guard with foul drawing machine. And while we're complimenting our head coaches, Coach Bowen played collegiately at Iowa, then 10 years in the NBA for the Nuggets, Rockets, New Orleans Hornets at the time, before they moved, and Oklahoma City Thunder. Or actually, before the name change, they should be more specific.
Johnson just pushed Hargrove out of the way, couldn't get the finish. Now the long 2. Bounce all the way out wide to Hank Morgan.
So this is the 3rd shot opportunity Celtics going to have on this possession.
And again, Tonje really knows how to use the glass, huh?
When we chatted with Coach, yes, he does know how to use, he's just a crafty scorer, but when we chatted with Coach Pressey beforehand, he was really pleased with the way his team went to the offensive glass, even though the stat sheets don't show it. That was the perfect example of that possession.
Johnson skies for the rebound, and that was the 10th offensive rebound for the Maine Celtics on that last time down. Ward with the mismatch down low. Looked like a foul on Jones, and that's what it'll be. Ward will go to the line.
On the other end, Derek Obade thought he was just going to get the rebound, and Johnson just jumped over him. Nope, sorry, big fella, I'm taking this one. That was spectacular.
Keon Johnson in that 48-inch vertical has wowed a lot of Celtics fans this season, to say the least, as Bridges comes in for Tanjay.
Great minutes for Tanjay. It's a nice ovation from the astute Expo crowd. Tanjay's up to 14, which leads all Celtic scorers.
And so Hassan Ward, a little shaken up looking at that right shoulder, and officials kind of had to go get him, say, you got to shoot these free throws here. One free throw, of course, still for Hassan Ward, and still kind of laboring that shoulder. Couldn't get the free throw to go down.
He's a tough one. He's going to play through it.
64-52, Maine Celtics with their largest lead of the night with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. McCoy trying to change that. He draws a foul on Hank Morgan. McCoy
just doing a good job getting to Morgan's hip, drawing the contact, going to the free throw line, where we said earlier McCoy's a very good free throw shooter at 87%.
And again, they get the Celtics defenders kind of digging down, so they awarded the foul to Bridges. It's just his second. McCoy shooting 1 for 2, and for the second time tonight, McCoy comes up empty.
The announcers jinxed him. And interesting, that's the third time tonight we thought the foul was on
burned.
Somebody else.
I'm getting burned.
Yeah. Well, what do we know?
Not much, apparently, as Bridges can't connect from 3. Grand Rapids, you talk about leaving that free money on the floor, 3 of 7 from the free throw line.
That's what McCoy did the first game here, got into the paint
Yep.
and passed. And when Grand Rapids made the comeback, those shots were being knocked down. Hargrove missed that one.
Morgan cooling off from the corner. Hargrove hauls it in for the gold.
Somebody must open the door because both teams have gone cold.
Jones. So you're seeing
Interesting.
a lot more shots early in the shot clock for the gold.
Coach Pressey wanted to slow things down that time. Oh, 8-second violation. Coach Pressey was talking to Keon Johnson, and both Coach Pressey and Coach Johnson are looking incredulously. But there's 16 on the shot clock, partner.
Stumped, incredulously, dumbfounded. A lot of confusion right now on the floor, but nothing confusing about the Celtics up by a dozen. We'll take a timeout and be back in a couple minutes. Welcome back, and the Maine Celtics hosted the Girl Scouts of Maine on February 28th for a special Empower Clinic presented by TD. An afternoon dedicated to confidence, connection, and the power of girls, uplifting girls through skill-building basketball drills, team activities, and thoughtful conversations. The girls explored what empowerment means to them, both as athletes and as young leaders in their communities. Of course, the Maine Celtics and TD are proud to champion the next generation of leaders.
Great shots. Celtics coming out in zone, Spencer.
And it pays off with Keon Johnson snagging another steal. Him and Ward not on the same page there.
Wow. 2 turnovers in a row uncharacteristically. The 8-second violation, and then Johnson threw it towards open hand, and Hassan just wasn't ready and apologizes to his teammate.
Still just the 8th turnover of the game for the Maine Celtics, doing a much better job of taking care of the ball after having 20 in Osceola.
Was it 20 or 22 in Osceola? I think it might have been 22. But that was Coach Pressey. That's all he was chatting with us about.
Right. Always.
Not Tanjay. He was talking about the turnovers, not how well they shot. So that happens when your head coach is a former point guard.
And there's a turnover on the Gold.
And Spencer, you talked about this in your brilliant opening that Coach Pressey just talked about sprinting to the finish line. And then I asked him about they control their destiny for playoffs, and he I thought he was ready to hit me. Don't mention that word. You know, he was doing a Jim Mora commercial.
If he had some duct tape, he would have just taped your mouth shut right away.
He was doing the Jim Mora playoffs.
Well, Bridges is doing his part to try to get the Celtics to the playoffs.
Largest lead of the evening. Celtics are going back to man-to-man.
The third triple of the day for Jalen Bridges, and answering with the intensity defensively as well. Barking orders. They got Holmes up in the air. Scott gets the steal.
Great job by Scott because his hands were in the right place. So Hank Morgan's got to keep running on that one and catch the ball with two hands. I love my fellow Division III guy, but the ball had a lot of zip on it. So, and my point is it's possession, not position. And so it is another one of turnover. Coach Pressey's going to remember that.
It's also the second one when you talk about the speed and intensity from the NBA that Keon Johnson can bring. We've seen that at times, and we get the last couple of possessions as it's a fight for the ball here. Grand Rapids earning another opportunity. Obede. No, Hassan Ward finally hauls it in, but you see sometimes Johnson's trying to create things that guys who haven't maybe played in the NBA aren't quite on the same pace with him.
It's kind of like having a catch for somebody that pitched or somebody that didn't pitch. Every time the Celtics score, the defense has been phenomenal. 18 is the largest lead, but they were up 22 on Grand Rapids 2 months ago.
They've doubled up the Gold in this quarter, 26-13 before that alley-oop connection with Holmes.
Celtics holding for one.
70-54, Maine Celtics dominating this third quarter. Grand Rapids looking for a stop, looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. What does Johnson have in store for McCoy? He's trying to go down to Ward, still 1 second on the clock. Thrown up from half court by McCoy, and it soars over the backboard, but still a big third quarter for the Maine Celtics. They outscore the Gold 26-15. And looking for a key win at the Expo before their final road trip of the season. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Welcome back. Time now for your answer to Maine Celtics trivia. We ask you who scored the most points in the game versus Grand Rapids, and if you listened to John, you would be right. It was Ron Harper Jr. with those 37 points in the last meeting on January 29th. And like I said, we haven't seen a lot of Ron around these parts. A great success story in his development and impact with the Boston Celtics as Grand Rapids, right out of the quarters, scores at the cup.
Grand Rapids needed a hoop to stop the bleeding.
You always talk about those benchmarks defensively for the Celtics organization at any level, as Ward went right at Holmes and a great contest. And then Maine getting the job done defensively so far against the goal, just struggling to find some offense. See if Gray can change that. Ward.
Great play by Hassan, just couldn't get the offensive rebound.
And Holmes with a big slam on the other end.
Great start for the Gold in the fourth quarter. It's deja vu all over again, Spencer, from the game back in January when the Grand Rapids Gold came back from down 22 late in the third quarter to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
And
in Maine Celtics eyes, I should.
Right. And a good floater by Hassan Ward. Grand Rapids will need to get some stops in this fourth quarter to pull that off. They're 30th out of 31 teams in defensive rating in the NBA G League. And here's Morgan leading the break, trying to step around Goodwin. He'll draw the foul.
I was going to scream if they didn't call that foul. By the way, the game is officiated. Hank Morgan drawing contact, leg out, stopped his rhythm and momentum. That's how the game's officiated. But I thought they weren't going to give Morgan a call, and I was going to scream D3 bias. Because, you know, I'm partial, obviously, to D2 and D3 guys who've spent most of my career. Morgan, a good free throw shooter.
That's right, and averaged over 20 points a game for Hamilton, a two-time Division III All-American as Hank Morgan. 10 points on the night for him.
Celtics back to that zone.
Goodwin couldn't shoot him out of it. It looked like Holmes, yes, earned another opportunity here for Grand Rapids.
Shot clock resets to 14.
Third in offensive rebounding percentage in the G League is Grand Rapids at 35%. So, I mean, you always, especially in a zone, have to try to find bodies, Moses Brown or not, as they'll catch Maine with the goaltending.
Coach Pressey is being implored by his teammates and his coaching staff to challenge that.
I
Coach
heard
Pressey says, yes, he will. We heard Boaz Mensah and Nick Papa behind us yelling, Phil, Phil, Phil.
I know, it sounded like Bill Nye. I thought they were saying Bill, Bill, Bill. We'll see what the sign says on the replay when we come back. Taking a look at the road ahead. Maine getting ready for their final road trip of the season. They go down for 2 against the Birmingham Squadron and 1 against the Long Island Nets. And then it's hard to believe just 2 home games left for the Maine Celtics. Limited tickets still available for Maine's regular season finale on March 24th against the Cleveland Charge. It's J.D. Davison bobblehead night. First 1,000 fans will get a J.D. MVP bobblehead. Tickets can be purchased by scanning the code on your screen or visiting MaineCeltics.com. As for the business we need to get to, John, what was the result of that challenge?
Successful challenge, imminent possession, Celtics ball out of bounds. We finally got one right, Spencer Martin, you and I.
Kendall Brown got it before it hit the glass.
And you know who was happy when you were giving your read on the upcoming road ahead? Jalen Bridges was emphatic, overjoyed.
He was arguing for that call. So 74-58, Maine Celtics lead. Brown got bailed out on the way up. It's a foul on Grand Rapids. And an immediate foul given here. We'll see what the sideline.
Well, Grand Rapids, I think, was complaining that they called the foul on the wrong person.
Right.
So that's why, and then official, great job. Got it. Ryan Johnson said, no, we'll get it right, and great job by the officials, who have done a very good job today.
And not shooting foul, just to clarify, is Hayden Gray here now with 5 on the shot clock. Goes to the spin move, dumps it down to Ward, has to get it up, and he gets it to drop.
I think Hassan Ward has the best face, like, whoa, I got fouled. He's got the, because he stopped, he pauses. I'm sure Coach Press was like, you can make the face, but you got to run back on defense.
Right. 8 points for Haas. Holmes goes right at the body of Gray. Extra pass finds Curtis Jones. Struggled from 3 so far tonight, is the two-way player for the Gold.
Jones has been cold today.
2 of 11 from the floor.
Only 8 points for Jones.
18-point lead now for Maine. Well, dribble handoff from Ward to Gray. Ward working on the block with Bridges. His floater drops.
Bridges taking a page out of Kendall Brown's game. Nice play by Jalen Bridges. Up to 20 for the Celtics lead.
Maine has taken over in this second half. McCoy trying to stop the bleeding. Out to Holmes. Gets it to go.
So we know the Nuggets want Mr. Holmes to develop that outside shot. That's clear today. That's why he's probably in the G League working on that, on assignment.
Now 3 of 8 on the day. Team high 21 points for Holmes. Double team on Hayden Gray, out of bounds, Grand Rapids ball.
And we talk about players on assignment. Like, for example, when the Boston Celtics send Amari Williams to Maine on assignment, his task is one thing, dominate.
Yeah.
And as Coach Pressey says, they play through his offensive playmaking when Amari is here. And who knows if we'll see Amari again this year. You never know.
You never know.
We're pretty sure we might not see Ron Harper. Pretty sure. Nothing's official. These are just our opinions.
Well, Holmes is finding his shot from 3 right now, up to 24. Is
good for him, working on his game. Celtics might think about changing the way they guard him.
Johnson fouled on the way up. McCoy and Holmes not happy about it as they're trying to build a little bit of momentum here. Is the Gold. You know, Johnson, he's been fouling on defense. 4 personal fouls. He's also been drawing a lot of fouls
We
today.
talk about this all. His quickness, it's like almost impossible to guard. For those in New England that stayed up to watch the Thunder Celtics game last night, you know, Baylor Shireman and Ron Harper got huge compliments for their ability to guard. You got to be really disciplined to guard somebody like Keon Johnson.
And Johnson converts it to the line as Holmes has the green light.
Wow.
3 straight triples.
He's now 5 of 10. So we know why he's here, and he shot them right back in the game, Spencer. It's only a 13-point game.
Showing why he was selected with the 22nd pick overall in 2024. Johnson, another former first-round pick, couldn't answer. Watch out for Holmes, who's officially on heat check watch here.
Yeah, I think it's time to change how they guard him.
Hayden Gray understood the assignment. He jumped out on Holmes, but they left McCoy wide open, and the Gold have caught fire here in the fourth quarter.
Great run by the Golds. 10-0 run to make it a game, Spencer.
It was 20 just like that. It's a 10-point ball game with 7:20 to go. If Maine wants to get a win, they're going to have to work for it. Time now for the Bill Dodge GMC Buick drive of the game. You didn't have to wait long. Less than a minute in, Hassan Ward throwing down the hammer on the gold. We've seen Hassan Ward with some show-stopping dunks here in the regular season.
Fantastic play. And Hassan's had a great game all around, but he let it known early that he was here to play.
Well, Deron Holmes and his sharp shooting ability has brought Grand Rapids back into this game, and a little full court pressure as well, as the Gold shooting 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3 so far here in this fourth quarter.
This is just what they did in January versus the Celtics, came all the way back to snatch the victory. And you mentioned Hassan. Now, this is a 10-point game, but Hassan is plus 16 on the day. That's how well he's playing, Spencer.
Got 11 rebounds, as Tanjay can't get the bucket that the Maine Celtics were looking for that time down.
Not a good possession off a timeout. Great job by Grand Rapids taking away what the Celtics wanted to do.
Ward jumped out on Jones. Now it's Goodwin working his way past Tanjay. And a high fly floater for Goodwin right over the outstretched arms of Ward.
Dane Goodwin up to 10 points now on the evening.
Credit the fight of this Grand Rapids team. They've lost 12 of their last 15, 3 straight, and they don't care. They're on the road, and they've cut this thing down to 8. No shortage of fight in Coach Bowen's squad.
Well, and the game before this, they lost in overtime on Tuesday at home. They are in every game. Well, they're in most of their games. And, you know, much like the Celtics' life in the G League, players running between Denver and Grand Rapids.
Trying to inbound it. Go ahead.
14-2 run for Grand Rapids, getting right back in the game.
Yeah, that was since the Maine Celtics took their largest lead of the day at 78-50. Had a good blindside block by Jones. Ward picked it up and found a way to get his 10th point of the day.
So Hayden Gray made great penetration. And wow.
Don't blink.
That man is 6 of 11 from distance. I think we need to change the scatter report. What do you think, Spencer?
I think you're right. He
has a 30 piece. Right. Yeah. We'll both want to get it out there, give Mr. Holmes. Like I said, he and I walked up the stairs today. Seemed like a great fellow. Happy for him. Main crowd is quiet.
He's made 4 in a row. Hayden Gray from downtown. Big time bucket by Hayden Gray. Forces a timeout by Coach Bowen.
Gray was in Gray, Maine. 20 miles north of here, give or take.
Back up to a 10-point lead for the Maine Celtics as Hayden Gray, the pass and then the shot. They needed that, did Maine, to hold this double-digit advantage over the Gold here.
So,
Deron Holmes, 16 points in this fourth quarter. You said it was Dane Goodwin back in January. Today it's Deron Holmes. You talk about being happy for a guy who, again, suffered a torn right Achilles tendon scary when you're a young player. You just got your rookie deal. You're excited to get your pro career started, and you don't even make it to the regular season, suffering that injury in the summer league. And man, 4 straight threes in this fourth quarter.
No, I predict that Coach Pressey and Coach Reimer does the defense for Coach Pressey, going to adjust how they guard him. And what I started to say before that, so Hayden Grape gave great job penetrating. His Sunward bobbled the ball, so it cost Hayden the assist.
Good win out wide. As you're right, the Celtics not sagging quite as much on defense. Doesn't matter. McCoy beats Tanjay.
McCoy's one of those silent assassins that makes every play correctly. Playing well in front of his college coach, Joe Jones.
Bridges thought about it. Now it's Hayden Gray again. Going right at Jones with his back to the basket. Tanjay lets it fly. He knew it was off from the moment it left his fingers.
That one looked, you said, that one looked bad when it left his hands.
Just 14 points for John Tanjay. Holmes.
See, they've adjusted. They've crowded him now, forcing him to bully ball it in. Good job by Holmes.
And a tough pill to swallow for Jalen Bridges.
I think he got him, though. And I can tell
on
by
the elbow?
Yeah, and we know Jalen's reaction. Well, now he's reacting a little bit different. Let's see on the replay. Yeah, look at on the arm, on his right arm. And that was a good job by Holmes adjusting to the defense, so the chess match continues. You know, see why he's drafted so high before he was injured.
87% free throw shooter is Deron Holmes, still shooting 1 for 2 here in the fourth quarter till we reach 2 minutes.
Closest Grand Rapids have been since early in the third quarter.
They've outscored Maine by 10 here in this fourth quarter. Remember, they were held to just 15 points in the third. Tanjay, no. Kendall Brown's put back off as well. Eerily similar fourth quarter between the Gold and the Celtics.
And the defense of Grand Rapids got significantly better. Everything's hard now for the Celtics, Spencer.
They go all the way around on offense. Holmes, good closeout by Hayden Gray off the hot shooter, and for the second consecutive possession, it'll be Bridges now with his 4th personal as he's tasked with stopping Holmes.
Well, this is similar to when Amari Williams come here on assignment. He's on assignment, so he's dominating. You know, that's an interesting one. It could go either way, but there was contact. And again, you know, the officials use their SQRB, speed, quickness, rhythm, and balance to determine if the contact affects the play. When we chatted up with the officials before the game, that's their point of emphasis.
Tonight's group, Claude Mula, RJ Johnson, and Genesis Perryman. As Holmes makes it a 4-point game with 4 minutes to go. Maine Celtics sitting at 14 and 16. They need a win today as they try to make the postseason. Tanjay out to Bridges. Hawkins brings in the miss.
That was a better possession because they didn't force. Tanjay got penetration. Bridges just missed the shot.
Everything going through Jones and Holmes right now for Grand Rapids, just trying to pick out their mismatch. Said McCoy lost it. Johnson picks it up 2-on-1. Gray and Johnson, hot potato, and rolls on in for Hayden Gray.
Great teamwork right there by those two fine, spectacular defensive wizards, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Gray. That's what they needed.
We have a knack for the steal, and I'll tell you what, this ball was barely on their fingertips the whole way down the floor. Maine needed that in a big way to get this back to a 6-point advantage.
The one-handed in-air tip pass by Kean Johnson was spectacular. Can we get 2 assists for that?
Should be. I think each guy, right?
Right. Good point. Like in hockey, they get it.
I like it. Hayden Gray up to 17 points, 8 assists on the night after that possession. As the Celtics just trying to hold on here.
And you and I talk about this often. We love watching Hassan Ward's growth. We've watched every one of his professional games over the past few years. But how about Hayden Gray? Just every day he's on the floor gets better and better and better. And he's really developed an offensive consistency, which he needed to do. But that's why he loves working. And you had a great interview with him. just loves working. He looks like he's 12 with the haircut, too. I didn't recognize him when we came in. I said, hi, Hayden. I was like, oh.
There's the UC San Diego standout. It is March Madness after all, and Hayden Gray said he's got the winning recipe. But a great finish on the other end by Grand Rapids, Curtis Jones.
Well, Jones, we know he could score. He's been quiet so far, but that's up to 10 for him.
That typically averages 21 points per game for the Gold. Johnson just powers right past Goodwin.
That's what you call playing through contact. That's the difference between the NBA. He just went right through contact, didn't affect him.
Wasn't phased at all.
Big time finish right there.
There's Jones and Holmes, that two-man game that's worked well in the fourth quarter. Floater down for Jones.
Well, the two-way is playing like he's supposed to, dominating here in the fourth quarter, and Holmes is playing like he's supposed to on assignment, just took over this game.
It's been a balanced effort for the Maine Celtics. Who's going to step up to clinch this win? Keon Johnson looking determined right now for the Celtics.
Johnson coming in with his Mariano Rivera style. He's going to try to close this one out for the Celtics.
16 points. Couldn't get the bucket, but good luck jumping with Keon Johnson. Made the Gold pay. First miss of the fourth quarter for Holmes, but they get another crack at it. Jones doesn't get it as well. Hayden Gray hauls it in.
Celtics going to have a long trip. Coach Pressey imploring Keon to go slow. He'll make sure he gets it over before 8 seconds, though, this time.
Over and back as Hawkins poked it away. Coach Pressey irate at the call. They'll say it was last touched by Johnson on the over and back. A delay of game issued to the Maine Celtics.
And not going to challenge, not enough to overturn. Celtics have had some interesting turnovers at the worst possible time. Let's see. It did hit Johnson last on the leg, which is why they didn't review it.
It's the fourth turnover on the night for Keon Johnson. Goodwin's little finger roll rolls out.
Another long trip coming up by the Celtics unless they get something really easy.
Kendall Brown and John Tonje thought about it, but they listened to
He
it.
didn't fake. That was the fake. He faked you. A fake is not a fake. They were taking this one all the way down. 4 possessions left in this game, Spencer.
Poked away by Goodwin, but a late whistle on the goal.
The players want to review. I don't think coach is going to review.
Well, it's the 5th team foul regardless, so the Celtics in the bonus, and that's the guy you want at the line. Again, 91%. One of the best free throw shooters in the G League will shoot 2 here for the Celtics.
So is it a shooting foul? Because it is their first in the last 2 minutes. So I believe they called it in the act. I could be wrong.
It's free throws.
It is free throws.
That's my answer.
It is 2 free throws because we're in the traditional under 2 minutes. We've got traditional free throw rules. In NBA rules, each team gets 2 timeouts under 2 minutes, unless they've used more.
And Coach Bowen will use one of those timeouts. He has 1 timeout left and 1 reset for the Grand Rapids Gold here. Down by as many as 20 to these Maine Celtics. They have made things interesting again here at the Expo. Again, one of just 3 games left here in Portland, Maine for the Celtics.
So the ball gets advanced to half court. And again, there's still 4 possessions left in the game. Not a must score for Grand Rapids, but like 99% they need to score this possession.
Let's take a look at Keon Johnson and the way he's been able to take over in this fourth quarter. 16 points, 6 assists. But a lot of them coming in the fourth quarter. Remember, we had those 4 personal fouls early in the first half, and he's really managed them well.
He's a pro. He just plays right through them.
So the Gold need to score and do it quickly. They go to McCoy. His mid-range jumper off the mark, but a 3 for Goodwin off back rim. Who can haul in this loose ball? It finds Hawkins somehow. He's been hawking those down all day long. Holmes goes right at Bridges and gets 2.
Good news for the Celtics. Took
time.
17 seconds off the clock.
Johnson goes all the way down. Brown couldn't put the finishing touches on it. Can Bridges save it in the crowd? He hopped over the courtside Celtics fans, but he was out of bounds first.
I am watching Phil Pressey's face, and it's like you look up to the sky and what else can go wrong. Could have been an exclamation point, close out the game. Instead, it's 2-possession game with 45 seconds left. Coach calling his reset timeout. Interesting why, because he only gained 10 feet from where the ball was out of bounds. No. Interesting why he called his reset. They only gained 10 feet.
Coleman Hawkins has been making all the hustle plays. 14 rebounds, 10 assists. Looking for his 11th assist. Jones couldn't get the 3.
Big time rebound by Hayden Gray. Literally, the Celtics are almost better off with a shot clock violation than turning the ball over.
Johnson in a little bit of trouble, and it will give
Coach
a timeout to Coach Pressey.
Coach Pressey called timeout. Was in the ear of Brian Johnson. Celtics will have 14 seconds to shoot. Draw an inbound play. Coach Bowen's team will go for the steal. So the point I was making, Coach Bowen called this reset timeout, but where the ball was out of bounds was on the other side of half court. He only gained 10 feet, so I was surprised he didn't choose to save it. But he did want to communicate his set to his team, and they got a wide open shot.
So we've seen Maine have some issues in these scenarios. Started very first road series of the season against Greensboro. Saw some missed opportunities against this same Grand Rapids team. As Coach Pressey would say, every game a learning opportunity, a chance for the Celtics to take what they've learned and apply it in the test right now.
Right, first game of the tip-off back in November, they were going to win, and Wendell Moore had an uncharacteristic turnover as the Celtics were trying to close out the game. Wendell Moore Jr., I should say.
So one timeout in the back pocket of each of these teams. Maine has had a lot of success when they hold teams to under 100 points. They're undefeated this season. Can they put the finishing touches on the goal? Keon Johnson somehow got out of that trap, and they'll call a foul on the goal.
Great, not good, great job by Keon Johnson in the corner, maintaining his composure. That lightning quickness, he knew that he could get out of that double team.
Right.
Mere mortals like us, we know it's a turnover. The coach is screaming timeout.
He was just waiting for it.
It was a very, very veteran play and gifted play by Mr. Johnson.
Hayden Gray, his first free throw is off.
Gray's a 72% free throw shooter. This is a big one because it makes it a 3-possession game, Spencer. Got to have one of these two. Well, now you have to have one of the one. Now, excuse me. Gold have one timeout left, choosing not to use it to advance the ball.
94-87, Celtics lead, under 20 to go in the game as Jones crossed the timeline. Brown doing a good job to slow Jones down. He got Johnson in the air, though, bucket in the foul.
5th foul on Johnson, and probably the correct call because it was inside the restricted circle, Spencer. I know nobody on the Celtics wearing green wants to hear that, but great job. The good thing with the Celtics, see contact in the restricted, it's the way the game's officiated.
For sure.
Going to put Hassan Ward in for rebounding. Good play. Let's see if they try to miss the second free throw, Spencer Martin.
I can see that.
Strategy. Well, that's why I'm here.
You talk about Cameron Warrens and Coleman Hawkins both being from Antelope, being former teammates. Hawkins is making the extra plays, the effort plays for both of those guys. A lot of his rebounds coming on the offensive end. They did miss the free throw. Holmes passes it, though, to Johnson. A turnover for Grand Rapids. Avoiding catastrophe are the Celtics that time down.
That's a great call on your part, avoiding catastrophe. Celtics need to knock these free throws down, not foul, and enjoy a hard-fought victory.
So Johnson gets another steal. He'll go to the free throw line, trying to ice this one.
See the replay. Johnson's hands. He moves before we even think about it. He must make a quick cup of coffee, he's so fast.
I love it. 4 steals for Keon Johnson. Led the Brooklyn Nets in steals last season. He said, for me, it all starts on the defensive side of the ball. Don't care how the game's going, how I'm shooting. I will always set the tone defensively, and he's done that today for the Maine Celtics.
And that's up to 17 points for him.
been a balanced attack for these Maine Celtics. I mean, you just go down the stat sheet. Tanjay 16, Hassan 10, Bridges 15, Gray 17.
Hard-fought game, like you said, collegiate feel. If we were playing collegiate minutes, the game would be in the 70s. We're playing extra 8 minutes.
Well, I chopped up with Coach Presti about field goal attempts and what they try to do. Grand Rapids averages 96 field goal attempts per game. A lot of that because of those offensive rebounds. Maine's held Grand Rapids to just 78 shots in this game. Both teams kind of really slowed each other down. You talk about the good defense, but I think that favored Maine in the end, limiting Grand Rapids shot attempts.
100%. And, you know, we've talked about in the opening and a few times throughout the broadcast, Grand Rapids not having Moses Brown dramatically affects their rebounding. But the Nuggets organization and Grand Rapids has to be pleased as punch with Deron Hawkins the way he's played. Excuse me, wrong player. Deron Holmes. Got my Hawkins and Holmes confused.
Yeah, when you lose Moses Brown, you're losing 21 points and 12 rebounds per game. I mean, consistently in the top 3 in every rebounding category that you can imagine in the G League. So him and Simpson a late scratch. That's about 40 points off the table. But again, Maine unbeaten when they hold their opponents under 100 points this season. Look like they're on their way to that again as McCoy. No, Bridges fouled on the rebound. Looks like Maine is on their way to a key victory. And they've really struggled here at home in the regular season. Just 7-7 in this building entering today. Coach Presti knows it was important for them to protect home court tonight.
Which historically has been uncharacteristic.
Right.
And the way the season started in the Expo. And Deron Holmes, again, this is our first time seeing him play live. McCoy missed a shot. He was the first one to put his hands around him. Just always positive with his teammates. Really predict great things, bright future for the young man. And like you said, great job for Holmes recovering from the Achilles injury.
Just his 5th game on assignment with Grand Rapids, where he started 6 games for the Denver Nuggets. They'll get a nice little touchdown to end the day, but the Maine Celtics will top the Grand Rapids Gold 96-91. Maine has won 3 of their last 4, and they inch even closer to that 8th and final seed in the NBA G League playoffs. Stay with us. We'll be back with our player of the game in just a couple minutes. Maine Celtics get a key victory over the Grand Rapids Gold, 96-91. 91. 7 players score in double figures, including Hassan Ward, our player of the game, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and a really balanced team win. Hassan, you guys have won 3 of your last 4. How important was this one today for you guys?
Just trying to stay on the right path, getting back to our game plan, trying to execute the game plan, and just staying to what we know, and trying to get back to where we've been.
This is your second straight double-double. You were 6 for 6 from the floor against Osceola, snagged rebounds. Amari Williams gets that standard deal, and this team has really put their faith in you as that starting center. We've seen you get more aggressive offensively. How much belief do your coaching staff, do these players have in you, and how have you stepped up to that call, especially offensively in your second season here?
Just trying to stack days, trying to stack games, trying to be consistent, work on my game, just trying to get in the gym, and just they trusted me, and I'm trying to execute the game plan for them and just trying to stay consistent.
You talk about certain plays in basketball that can really change the momentum in a game. 2 of those are a block shot. Another one is a dunk. Well, those are 2 things you're pretty damn good at. Lately it seems like you've gotten a lot more aggressive going to the rim with some of those dunks. Was that a point of emphasis for you, or are you just feeling more confident? Because you really guys got to watch out when you're taking off this season.
Yeah, just trying to find my confidence, and like I said, staying consistent. Been getting a little extra work in, trying to find my touch around the rim so I can be more confident in it, and trying to translate it to the game, and it's been working. So
like Coach Pressey said, stacking pennies, right?
Stacking pennies, up.
Well, you guys are stacking those pennies. You won 3 of the last 4. Your Celtics are rolling a little bit. How about your Iowa State Cyclones in the Big 12 tournament? You catching your alma mater a little bit?
Yes, sir. Them boys is rolling too. We're trying to have a double peat back-to-back this year, so let's go.
You get to talk a little trash to a former Cyclone on the other side today in Jones?
Oh, yeah. Love to see the former teammates, man. My boy Kirk Jones.
Well, hey, the bragging rights go to you today. Another double-double. Appreciate the time, Haas.
Thank you.
Always good to see you courtside. Hassan Ward, 10 points, 11 rebounds, and a big win for the Maine Celtics. We'll let Haas go join his teammates in the locker room. Again, appreciate the time. We'll get Coach Scheinman back in here. Again, a balanced effort for the Maine Celtics. You just go right down the line. 16 points for Jalen Bridges, 16 for John Tonje. Hayden Gray with 18 points to go with 8 assists. And Keon Johnson with 17 points, most of those coming in the fourth quarter. As the Celtics enter the day a game back, you look at the road ahead. They have one more road trip, 2 key games against the Birmingham Squadron. The schedule doesn't look too bad if you're the Maine Celtics. The Squadron, kind of another one of those teams outside looking in terms of the playoffs. Then the Long Island Nets, Cleveland Charge. There's a real chance for Maine here to get a nice push to the playoffs.
I'm glad you said the schedule doesn't look too bad to me and our audience, and not Phil Pressey.
I know. Very true.
One game at a time. We got lectured, as we said on the air before the game. But you're right. It has to be one game at a time. And what I believe, and just shared this with Coach Pressey before the game, the Maine Celtics control their destiny.